Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Happy Monday.
All right, so I'm coming out of the gate firing.
All right.
Right.
Do it. Fire me up.
So I am I am the video shaman here, right?
Yeah. And he
And
is
Erik-
really good at this.
Erik came in this morning, and remember what we talked about Thursday? Customer expectations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get these guys coming in and sitting in front of you and go, "Oh, I can do you a video and blah blah blah, and it's only going to cost you $300."
Yeah.
Well, if they're shooting and editing and they're running around, it's not no $300 video, and it's going to suck.
Well, if it is a $300 video, it's going to be a nightmare. And you are.
Well, I mean, okay, so look, let's go back to the wide shot. This is our set. We have a professional studio. I'm fired
Yeah.
up. Well, you have no idea
Oh, yeah.
how angry I am
Unfortunately,
right
I got him fired up this
now. Boy,
morning.
he did. Erik got me. I'm even taking my glasses off and my
Oh,
coffee.
man,
I may have to
here we
get
go.
some Southern Comfort put in
Here
the
we go.
coffee. I'm just saying. So
I
we
can't
have
see.
a 3,000 square foot facility in Port Richey.
Yeah.
And we're working on a 2,500 square foot studio in Tampa.
And when we say working on, we have it.
We have it. It's in a
walls
demo,
and
and
horrible,
they're
and,
pulling
yeah,
all the crap out now, and then we're going to go in.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Customers' expectations have got to be met. And when you work with somebody, don't white label yourself unless they're going to pay your overhead. And I mean, that's everything. That means they're paying your lights, your electricity, your internet, your servers, your employees, your income. I mean, they're paying everything. If they want to someone wants to white label you, that's what you got to charge on a monthly basis.
And we were talking about that, and the reason, part of the reason is because if you have an opportunity, if you're a mortgage broker or someone like that, if you have an opportunity out there, one of the things is you can't get those referrals. So if someone goes, golly, that's great work, who do I talk to?
Right.
That you're not the one they're actually going to talk to. You're going to talk to the other intermediary. And so you're kind of losing that business.
You're losing a lot of business.
And I work for a number of attorneys and things like this. And so if a lot of your business, like Adam, your business is probably heavy referrals, right?
Correct, yes.
And so if you were working with someone else, then you don't get those referrals. And so you're taking away maybe 20% of your business. So you have to charge that much more for that white label process.
Yeah, because
then,
you're charging for your overhead and loss revenue.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Well, you know, not for nothing, but you're also putting your reputation on the table. And just to give you an idea, is like, if you think about it, think about it. When things go south because there's a lack of communication, things are happening.
Or the person that's running it,
the person
doesn't know what they're talking about.
Right. They are, when it gets down to the nitty gritty and they're getting, berated about it, they're going to point the finger.
Yeah.
And eventually what they're going to do is they're going to pull themselves out of the situation because they can.
Right.
And then they're going to point the finger.
This is not.
But remember, you weren't the one that was contractually dealing with the people.
Right.
The problem being now, though, is now it makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Makes you look unprofessional.
Yeah.
Now it's gone a step further.
And you make a good point, which is because one of the things in the communities, like we work in Tampa and people know me, and if I go to a bar association event, people know me. They go, that's that guy.
Yep.
The problem is if someone else hurts your reputation and they go, oh, that guy sucks.
Correct.
Then they're like, oh, and the other part of it is that, so, I run the Authority House, and we do video SEO is our main big thing.
That's right.
And so, but the problem is if someone else, if I screw up, or if someone else screws up, they're going to go, hey, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. And then I don't have the control over, then
What's
my
happening.
reputation has actually been hurt for my brand because your brand didn't hold up their end of the deal.
And the person running the show doesn't know their butt from a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
That's to me. That's like they're politically correct. I am not, and I am going to flat out tell you, if you got someone running your show that's even though say you're working with the group and you're not, even though you're not white labeled, but they're the lead and they don't know what you truly do.
Yeah.
Like obviously the situation I'm in right now with this person that has no freaking clue what the hell I do for a living, you know. I'm sorry. It's just that those kind of people.
It's one of those situations. You bring up a good point, which is that even if you tell, it's like that, you know, that telephone game where you say this, you know, it's because you go, hey, okay, thanks for that feedback on this video SEO thing that I did. It's going to take me a couple of days to get this back, and that's business days. So if you call me on Sunday, I'm going to take X number of days to get it back, and you're probably going to see it, and I tell you Thursday, or I say a couple of business days, or 3 business days is my standard.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And you'll have it Thursday.
Happy day.
Yeah. But then that person turns around and says, oh, we're totally going to get it to you. It'll probably be tomorrow.
Right.
Well, you've set my expectations wrong. So if I go, oh, here's your thing on Thursday, aren't you guys happy? And they go, you're a dick, because you didn't get it to us when I expected it.
Exactly.
Well, you set the expectations wrong.
Exactly.
You know, or here's the feedback. And if you're playing the telephone game, the feedback is this, and then you get feedback from someone else, and you're not talking directly.
Or they tell you, I can't remember what they said.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They didn't listen. They're too busy trying to figure out. See, I have a problem when you're in business. Okay, you have a plan A and a plan B.
Yeah.
Plan A is you work your ass off. Plan B is go back to plan A.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Oh no!
You're going to work.
Plan A, yeah.
Yeah, you're never gonna. If you've when we hire people, I'll ask them, so what's your plan B? And if they go into, well, my plan B is, I said, you know what, you need to go to your plan B, because that means they're not 100% in.
Yeah.
If you're not 100% in anything you do, don't do it.
Well, and I've even gotten to the point of, you know, like, well, I do video SEO. That's my thing, and I'm pretty good at it. But I do it myself. I used to farm out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then because I was growing, and that was a mistake. And so I learned my lessons years ago that I don't take on that many clients, because I take clients on who I know I can work with, and they're personally involved, and I know my stuff, so I'm going to rank you and do whatever.
So,
but, yeah.
To get off all this, but actually this perfectly leads into the fake tech.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's if you've ever seen the AT&T commercials of old, they're like, hey, do you want to read someone's mind with your phone? You'll be able to. AT&T. Well, it hasn't even been developed yet, but they're just taking credit for, like, at the time it was like a person in a payphone. It was like, you know, do you want to be able to reach people wherever you are? You know, AT&T. And it was like, well, that sounds really cool. What is that? And you go into like an AT&T store, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Here's a flip phone, you know.
Yeah.
It was
wait a minute, you mean I can't look at that and use video and talk to across the world?
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. Well, that's what the problem is. This came apart from the things I do for my company. I do kind of email funnels of getting people, you know, that's part of the SEO, which is converting videos into leads. So we got to find a new name for that, because it's not SEO. SEO is not a thing.
SEO stands for search engine optimization.
It's online visibility, and that's what I call it. I call it online authority visibility, and that's what it is. You're becoming authority online. And then I have a program that I primarily do, which is I convert videos into leads, and there's a process.
Oh, and it's a very detailed process.
It's a very detailed process, and I don't work with a whole lot of people. It's not very expensive, but it's very time consuming, and you have to have the right, you know, company for it. So, but I was just working with a new provider of emails, because I was like, okay, these last guys they really were not doing
They didn't scrub them, did they?
Well, No. This is I do all the email stuff myself.
Oh, you do that all
platform.
Oh, really?
This was a couple of platforms that I was looking at. So I'm like, okay, I need to go to a new platform because the old platform redid their pricing structure, didn't like it. They redid some things, but then the problem that I'm talking about with fake tech is when you have a business and you go, I want to send a monthly newsletter out. Well, that's really good. And companies like Constant Contact and MailChimp and stuff, they will do that stuff.
Right.
But when they talk about, oh, you can automate your emails, and that's when to really, really pay attention and get a free trial, because I have researched about 10 companies now that are the higher level email stuff, and they say you can automate this or do this, and you can tell when they've done these things, because it's important that when someone does something with your email, you want to know what they did so you can do the next thing.
Right.
But there's a lot of these companies that are going, it's automated, and you could do all this stuff and it'll tell you, and I'm like, let me see.
Right. Give me a report.
And also, I actually did a demo with Infusionsoft, and I'll call them out right now. Their demo, really good, but the problem is that all the stuff after the demo that you got to do, if you go with Infusionsoft, you are going to have to hire a human to manage your email.
Okay, so let's go. So I'm going to jump on this bandwagon. Same thing. So you can go get Hootsuite.
Yeah.
Or you can go get Ask Egger.
Sendable is a Hootsuite alternative is Sendable.
No, it's something Egger. Anyway, I don't even want to give the names out there, because here's the thing. They sit there and go, oh, yeah, automate your social media posts.
You can post every day.
So good.
Oh, it's so easy to do.
So then you have to hire somebody.
Yeah.
Or you have to spend all day on Sunday, right, pre-scheduling everything.
Setting everything.
So it's, they make it sound like, oh, well, it just becomes super easy. Well, you still have to create your ads.
Still got to create it.
You got to upload your ads. You got to schedule your ads. So, and then you schedule, and it'll post it for you. Well, actually, Twitter will do that. Facebook will do that. You don't need all this crap. If you already got to create everything, why don't just upload it to the platform you belong to, and actually, if you go to Facebook, now Facebook will go to Instagram, right? And then there is a thing out there that will do for Twitter, and that's really the only three that. And then
Twitter,
LinkedIn.
Twitter has its own thing. TweetDeck is owned by Twitter,
right?
And TweetDeck is a thing where you can manage multiple Twitter accounts at the same time, and it'll actually let you schedule stuff. The problem with all this technology, this kind of fake tech, is that, oh, you can do all this stuff. Oh, like one of the ones that I've used for social media is they go, oh, you can do all this stuff. Oh, but yeah, Facebook doesn't allow us to do that anymore. So, because, and I'm sitting there paying $900 a month for all this stuff for my clients, and then they're like, oh, we're taking this away because Facebook took this away.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that was a really important thing. What are you going to do? And they're like, nothing.
Nothing, but we want your money.
Yeah.
Keep paying us, please.
But the thing is with this kind of fake technology is there are a lot of be very understanding of what you want.
Skeptical.
And skeptical of, you have to determine, I want to, come up with a phrase. Go to the whiteboard in your office and go, I want to send a monthly newsletter out.
Yep.
And what do you want to know from that? I want to know how many people opened it. And then what do you want? I want people to click on the red button that says, I want more information about my, about my computer company, about fixing my computers. Here's the Computer Minute from Adam, and it's one of those things that you get it, but the premise is we want more customers from this. And so you have to pick all the things that you want and then go around the technology, because there's a lot of technology that will, it's the same thing. It's the flying cars of the world. It's these things are coming, or these things do this, but not really.
Yes.
Right.
And it's the same with, like, when I bought my car. They were like, oh, the phone hooks up to it, and it talks to it, and and when you hear like vague words like that, run away, because it's the phone talks to the car, and the navigation syncs up, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. When you say syncs up, I'm thinking my Google Maps is going to appear on my large touch screen on my car, and it doesn't. It will kind of tell you, and it'll read stuff through your car, which is annoying, but it doesn't do what it says you think it is. And so the technology of the world, like I was looking on a couple things. It's like it's things like the Segway. Those things are supposed to revolutionize the way we.
Google Glass.
Google Glass.
Google, yeah.
It's the same type of thing. These are going to revolutionize the way that we live our lives. And then you're like, this is a scooter. This is a
it's a scooter that can break your neck.
This is like
camera on my glasses
that I can see stuff in. And I've used Google Glass, and they sent them to me when they first came out, and I've used them, and they're not easy to use.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
And and that's so those are the type of like kind of fake tech, it's like hoverboards or things like that.
Or when you get into like a software platform that sounds really cool, and then you finally realize that you've been in a beta the whole time, and they're not even got their act together, and you find out that there are only two guys up here in this wonderful wonderland who are sitting here constantly breaking the software or doing something else, and you're like, why am I paying for this?
Well, that's the thing. It's all the kind of the vapor tech of it's look at the. And the problem is, I think, a little bit is the media picks stuff up, and then they run with it kind of ahead of the game. I mean, it happened with cell phones.
Yeah.
Cell phones were supposed to be the revolutionizing thing, but the problem is that people who were using them a lot, like me, were paying $4,000 a month because it was 25 cents a minute, and your business has it, but all the pickup, you're not able to communicate with all these people and do all this stuff, and then. The other parts of, just things not working like they're supposed to,
Well, I think what it also does is the internet has gotten to the point people forget that, the internet is just an illusion of what's really there.
Yeah.
And you can make your company.
That's a good point, Adam.
You can make your company look like a multi-million-dollar company and be one person show and do all this stuff, and nobody would ever know the difference, because the internet gives you the ability to make the site look great. You have enough money to do it. You can make yourself be better than everybody else, and nobody would know the difference.
It's totally true. You can, and one of the things I do when we talk about websites and things is, how do you want to look online?
Right.
Do you want to be the personal guy like me? If you go to my website, it's like, hey, this is me, and you get me. And that's it. The buck stops here. But I could easily set it up with like, I could lie and say we have a team of 100 people in our beautiful offices, and I could show stock photos of beautiful offices.
Well, some people do that anyway, because see what they do is they run a bunch of virtual assistants, or they run a bunch of people on Fiverr.
Virtual. Yeah.
Right.
Like I run across guys that I know that are video editors, and they're like this big company. You go in there, and they're meeting you at Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then what do? They farm it out through Fiverr, and there's some other people that sit there. I remember the days when people would come in and do a video with us, and we would hire a professional voiceover guy to come in and do a voiceover. Now it's voiceover.com.
Yeah.
Pay them $100 and they'll do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now for the technology, I will play devil's advocate with that. So I used to work in Miami in a very large agency, and we had voiceover guys, and they would have to come into the studio and do. It was $3,000 for them to come in and do Carnival Cruise Lines. It's like, thank you for call, but. Now, I can sit at home, and if I'm a voiceover guy, I don't have to go to Miami. I can sit at home in my underwear and make my same $100 an hour, or I'm making less, but now I can sit in my underwear and you just send me stuff and it appears.
But the problem with that is, okay, so I'm not sure how you guys did it, but when our voiceover guys came in, they watched the video.
And they watched the video.
They could sit with the inflection. I had a director or I had a producer sit with them go, that's not right. I need the inflection here, and I need the inflection here, and I need you to come down here, and I need you to go up here.
Yeah,
one more time, please.
That's what we did. And well, the other part of it is the clients were sitting in a big leather couch in another room.
That's right.
And they were watching and listening, and they went, we love that. And so when they left, they loved what happened.
Oh,
and
they were so in it.
It was worth the time for them. It's like, okay, here's the video, and then we watched this big video on the screen, the screen in the back. We watched the video or the commercial, and then they played the voiceover along with it, and then they went, "Is this approved?" And they went, "Okay." And then my customer service person would have them sign a form before they left the studio.
That's right.
Now I've done the voiceover stuff, and it's like, oh, I don't like at 2 minutes and 14 seconds. I don't love that. And then you got to go back to voiceover.com and go
and try to find that same guy if he's not busy.
Yeah,
because he has an inline.
Yeah,
he may be put on the back of it.
Yeah, and so
or Q. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's the thing with technology. This promises you that you get a beautiful voiceover for $100.
Right.
And I always tell people.
Okay, and here's the other side of it. When you come into my studio and you sit and you do it in my office and you do it in our recording, then it's like I can do with it what. Now all of a sudden these voiceover guys are throwing in there. Well, if you're going to use it for radio, it's this. If you're going to use it for TV, it's this. No. Biatch, I'm going to pay you this much money, and I'm going to use it where I want to.
One of my clients just did that on Fiverr. They were like, "Hey, we did this thing, and we want to use this voiceover person because they're Australian, and we like that." And I was like, "Okay, did you get the rights to do for your trade show thing?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Well, let's go to their website, and it's $100 to get. It's $20 to do the voiceover,
right?
But it's another $100 to do." That release.
Yeah. And I don't want we've used voiceover.com. I've used even Fiverr, but here's what I tell them. I said I don't want it produced. I want it raw.
Yeah.
Because my guy will now edit it to what I want to. I'm going to pay you this much money, and I'm only going to use it because I'll tell you what, I can go get guys locally that don't do it professionally that would love to make a couple $100 or $1,000 to sit there and do reads for me that have got beautiful voices.
Oh yeah,
they sound great.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No,
again, that's another promise of the Ethernet that's out there in the ether. Like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Well, it's the whole kind of gig economy type of thing.
Yeah.
That's the promise of this technology transforming. I always go back to the technology always promises to transform your life. And the problem is that a lot of people buy into that kind of shiny object type of thing where it's like, hey, I'm working with a person, but these other people are saying they can't transform. I saw this video that says Facebook ads are the biggest thing ever, and I can make $1 million a month on Facebook ads. And I'm like, well, you can, but the problem is that the technology is the shiny objects of and so a lot of people are promised that hey, we're going to have this and we're going to have this.
We can promise it cheap in your life.
I met with a client last week that we're going to shoot some videos for, right? And the first thing the client said was, "So we keep everything under 2 minutes, right?" No.
Why?
Yeah. Do you only have 2 minutes for the content? Well, no, I've got a ton of stuff. I'm like, why are you keeping? Well, because someone told me, or some marketing company said everything has to be under 2 minutes. I said, yeah, no, that's not true. That's the biggest lie that's been perpetrated. It's just horrible.
Okay. People will watch. Horrible. I will watch and it's one of those type of things where
I caught up on Badlands for God's sake and sat there for hours.
I will watch a half-hour video.
I worked, but I still had it going.
Yeah. I'll watch a half-hour video on ice cream being made on how it's made.
The best show in the whole wide world.
How it's made is this Canadian show that basically shows exactly how car springs are made, or how axes are put together.
How harmonicas are made. This weekend was a harmonica weekend.
That's what I'm talking about.
Show, but it's one of those type of things where it's like, this is really interesting. So if you can make a video for an insurance company that's an hour long, people will watch it.
They will watch it.
I'm doing I'm working with lawyers who are doing probate work, which is doing wills and stuff. But we're doing kind of skits on.
Yes.
We want to do skits on how they can do it, and so that's the whole thing with making it interesting. But the technology, people saying, "Oh, statistics have shown that this."
Yeah.
Well, that's, and also sometimes maybe they have, but it's like it's the same thing with statistics have shown that Tuesdays at 11 a.m. are the best days to send emails. Well, the problem is that that's been talked about for 6 years now, and so everyone is sending Tuesday at 11 a.m. So your best time to avoid emails for marketing crap is
Tuesday at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. And so. I always tell people the best day to send it is when you get the best response.
Yeah.
Right.
But the fake technology is all the promise of self-driving cars, for instance. I was going back to the media picks this stuff up. And then the self-driving cars. It's like, well, they're testing, and when this, like the Elon Musk of the world, they're like, this is going to be ready, like you said, setting the expectations. This is going to be a thing in 10 years, but we're playing with it right now.
Right.
Well, people don't hear that part.
They think it's ready now.
They don't hear real playing with it.
I want this in my car, and when it crashes my car, I'm really angry. And it's like, well, there's,
They don't hear the part where it says, do not turn it on when you're on a country road. They don't hear the part where, don't turn it on when you're on single-lane highway and, you have cars coming at you because it will freak out and take off down the road.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hear that.
Well, and okay, so I've been saying this for years. The reason all this crap is happening is because we've allowed it.
True, correct.
Okay, so bad video it's, as much as I love YouTube, and I appreciate everything you do for us, it's YouTube's fault.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've let crap be okay. And us as Americans have sit there and watched crap and be okay with it.
Cat videos.
Right. So, so here's what happens, and I'm gonna jump into a completely different, same thing.
That's okay.
Video games.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so video games used to be, we would wait forever for a video game. Now, I'm an old guy, but I used to be. I love my video games, right?
Yeah. Right.
But when they would release a video game, Nerd Talk talked about this on Friday night.
I'm a big BioShock person.
If you play a video game, when you bought that, when you spent that back in the day, it was like $49.99, and that was a lot of money, right? So when we got the game, we knew the game was going to be great.
Yeah.
Right?
You could play it for
now.
And the glitches were worked out.
Now, because we're okay with crap, the video gamers are now going, we'll just throw it out there and we'll fix it later.
Exactly.
If they fix it.
Or
same thing with cell phones.
Yeah. Or at E3. You see,
oh my God!
You see
great tech from 4 years ago is like Anthem, coming out this year.
Anthem, like Anthem and a couple of the other games were like, oh, this is so cool, and like, oh, and the leaves are in the background, and they're like, if you compare them now, like you'll see all the videos that compare the E3 and the real game.
Right.
Is they took out the cool thing or the one thing that made it nice.
Yeah.
Because of it would take too long.
Yeah.
Or they reduce the resolution by this.
Right.
And so it's just,
So
people are used to it.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like we have become okay as a society to go, I'll take it early. I'll let them deal with the crap. Now me, like cell phones.
Yeah.
Right? I wait. I'll never buy the new. Because I want the crap. I don't want a glitch.
I want it worked out.
I want a phone I want something that they fixed and finally go, okay, they'll glitch. I'll even wait for I'm finally deciding to get the 10, the big, right? But I waited. And I know in October there's going to be an 11, but I'd rather get the 10 now because all the crap's been worked out. Let everybody take the 11 if they want to jump onto it and go, you worked that crap out.
Oops, that battery life thing.
Yeah, or, oh my God, my phone has exploded in my pocket and now I'm on fire.
Yeah.
Yay.
Or,
way to go, LG.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, way to go.
No, it was Samsung.
Samsung,
Yeah, whatever.
Note
They're all the same.
Yeah. Well,
they're Androids.
The thing is with the
somebody owes me money.
Oops. Oh well.
That's $1 in.
All right.
That's $1 in Java.
All right, I'll put that in later.
That's all right, man.
The thing is that's like with the folding phones, for instance.
It's probably a client calling you, getting rail on you because you got into me.
Yeah, it's probably. But it's that kind of fake tech. It's the
I'm over it, dude.
Yeah. It's the hey, we're coming out with these folding phones, and it's like, well, I haven't seen one yet. It's like you showed me.
We haven't seen it used for the past 2 years to see what's going to happen to it.
When that crease starts happening, you're like, I didn't. I mean, there's going to be someone that say, well, I didn't know it was going to do that.
Or
really?
Here's like the fake tech type of thing. It's like, this phone is really cool. Yeah, put it in the hands of your 4-year-old watching a Elmo video and see
how cool it is then.
How cool this works, or whatever it is. And then with the folding phone, how do I get the OtterBox to go around it? I'm going to drop that thing and see how it goes.
OtterBox is going to be in 3 pieces today.
Yeah.
You better be really good at taking care of your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, because that's going to be.
Yeah, I think what the companies are trying to do is, like for instance, with video games back in the day, they used to have the beta testers. They had a set group of people that they would release the game to and say, okay, you guys play it. Now, these guys, they'd send them, obviously back in the day it was hard copies of the game, cartridge, and the guys would play it, and then it would give them back critical feedback.
Yes.
And the guys would even try to break the game, and they would find glitches, and these guys were good at what they did.
Yeah, and they paid them.
And they paid them good, yeah. But now it's like the whole community becomes the beta testers. They throw the games out there.
Well, that's the thing. People say, we can do this for free now.
Yeah, and people think, hey, this is great, but they forget that they were paying these guys thousands and thousands of dollars to play these games.
Yeah, you could.
And now the whole community is doing it for free, and they still don't release a game that's working properly.
Right. Yeah. And that's the kind of that technology type of thing that it's just things like things that, again, they revolutionize. It's like satellite radio. That was supposed to revolutionize and kill terrestrial radio. It's not. It's just like my girlfriend says, it's like we have 300 channels of cable and 299 of them are crap, and so it doesn't matter how much more you have.
If people would kind of, let's put it into perspective. Let's go like this. Okay, Apple. Just think of it like this. Apple says they're going to come out with a new phone. It's going to cost $1,500.
Right.
What they're going to do is they're going to first crowdfund it. So they're going to say, this is what we want to build. We want everybody to pay for it through crowdfunding. Then we're going to release it to the public on a beta test that everybody's got to pay $1,200 for the phone and test it out. Once we have the phone perfectly perfected, we will charge $1,500 and you can have the phone of your dreams.
Yeah.
Where was the investment? Where did they put? You've just developed the phone for them, told them what you wanted, they built it, and now you're paying them for it, for all of our knowledge and everything that we wanted, we did for them, and you get nothing out of it, but they reap the benefit. That would be the kind of, if in the game industry, same situation. I mean, you see these guys, hey, these indie guys, I want to bring back this game. Everybody pay for it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll do it for free.
That's fine. Yes, we all, want to see it back. We think about our childhood, but we're not going to pay.
Again.
We're not paying for it, so you can,
Right?
That's awesome.
Pac-Man Returns.
I have not heard that name in like 20 years.
There you go.
Holy crap.
So I was a beta tester on that game.
Were you really?
I was.
I used to have a friend that was a beta tester for all sorts of games, man. He had every system in his house. I was like,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the thing with technology. You've got to. Technology is one of those type of things where as we talk about it on the show, you've got to not be a slave to it, and you got to know, like, especially in business, what you want out of it.
Yeah.
Just because it's something is new and shiny and they say it's going to revolutionize. I know so many clients who've gotten so burned on the Facebook ads. Oh, we're going to go 100% into Facebook ads. Oh, we're going to go into AdWords.
Yeah.
Or we're going to go into these guys said that, ... You know, or, you know, we're going to go only into direct mail or whatever it is. It's like, if you don't have a budget, you need to roll up your sleeves and do some of the stuff yourself, because the problem is that all these revolutionary things,
I don't have
your eggs in one
have a
basket.
budget. I have Erik Cocks. Thank God.
You know, believe it or not, for me, like some of the best software that I ever purchased has been somebody who's in the exact same industry as me.
Yes.
Who built it with their own hands because they needed something that would work in their field. And they built it, and then they sold it to all of us.
Other people.
Right.
Yes.
And said, look, this is what we do, and it works for us. And it works.
I have.
And you have it. You own it. And you
see,
get to use it.
so I'm glad you said that.
Bring up a great point,
because
yeah.
the one thing I was complaining this. I'm just going to say I bitched earlier about someone that doesn't charge enough, which I do. I think it's just a pain in the ass. If you should charge your worth. That's why I have done what I've done here, and I've streamlined our process.
Yes.
So
You can bring costs
what
down.
this show right here, like that we're doing right this, well, I don't know, 100 people are watching if that. Maybe later they'll watch it. But so something like this that we do twice a week should cost in the realm of, it's an hour long. We really don't have any commercials, so we're not sponsor driven. We can say what we want to. We're not.
Yeah.
Should cost about $16,000.
Yeah.
That's $8,000 per show.
And people are going, oh my God, that's a lot of money.
Right. I have got this streamlined, so I don't have text. It's just me and Rob, or it's Rob, or it's me, or it's my son Dylan, or it's Cage, my son, or even one of my. We have a new guy on Nerd Talk. His name is Brad, and I've taught this guy at church how to do what we do. So, but we've got it to the point where a show. I can do it for $250. $250 because I don't have all the crap that everybody else has to go through. I'm not chasing. We're doing talking head stuff.
Yeah.
So I've streamlined it. So unless they've streamlined it, but it's just like you said, I took something from this industry that I've been in for 35 freaking years.
You have that software that is specifically for doing this thing.
Exactly.
And
so
I'm a photographer as well, and one of the programs that I use to like manage some of the shoots and stuff was developed by a professional photographer who had more money than I did and hired a developer to set up his own management of kind of the process, and he's selling it. And exactly what you're saying is,
and that's the way to do it.
And one of my other clients,
built by professionals for professionals.
One of my clients is
That's
a
the way it should
CPA, and he has a software package that a large company came out with, and they're selling specifically to a certain type of CPA, and that's all that it does. One thing.
And it does it well.
It does it great. And so you're exactly right. The technology of this revolutionizing stuff, especially for us in tech, we want, in the consumer world, the revolutions of the things are usually sponsored by particular companies. Like Roomba, for instance. I would love a Roomba. Roombas are those little vacuums that drive around my kitchen and dust and vacuum and things like this. However, I have like 4 cats and 2 dogs and bunnies, and the Roomba would probably last about 20 minutes in my house before it was clogged with stuff.
Did you see the new thing?
No.
The Roomba's got a self-emptying device that it parks itself on and vacuums itself clean.
I'm going to go get one of those.
It's time. It's time.
Well, and that's one of those vaporware type of things that I want to see that in action.
Yes. See it in action. See if it works.
Give me a 7-day return policy on that.
Exactly.
And I'm happy to try it out. It's like my dishwasher. The dishwashers have always said the new dishwasher. A dishwasher's you can get a dishwasher for $200. And I looked, and that'll wash your dishes. And then there's dishwashers that are like $1,300. And they are supposed to do all these things. But they still don't do what I wanted to do, which is I want to rinse off my plates and get the main potatoes and stuff off them and throw them in there. I don't want to have to scrub stuff off.
I don't want my drain line getting clogged up.
If my barbecue sauce is baked onto my thing, I want the whole thing. Yeah,
I want my dishes put away.
I want a pressurized hose system that blows out all the junk in my grease.
In my field, I'm watching. And it's funny too because a lot of companies, they go to like managed services. A lot of the guys you've seen a lot of companies that do break and fix disappearing. And then if they've disappeared, a lot of these guys are try to go to like what they call managed services, where they just use a software package to maintain a computer's network inside an office. Problem is, they're not really doing anything. They're tied to a particular vendor, a particular software package that they have to pay for. As they add on more and more clients, the software company's making more and more money, and the software companies have started eating each other up. And what's happened is, for instance, Avast bought AVG, antivirus software package. So, those two merged together. Now they're using the same database. But those two companies are the people that protect your stuff from viruses online. They say they're going to keep them two separate companies, but what they're going to end up eventually doing is, just like everybody else, is starting to come out with their own, what they call RMM package. Same thing with Komodo. You remember Komodo, right? Well, they've taken their antivirus and turned it into what they call an endpoint, where it's hosted in the cloud, and they have basically the servers in the cloud and the little endpoints on your computer, and keeps managing it. Well, they've created a whole back end and a back counter and said, well, if we put a little endpoint here, then we can have sell it to a computer company or a technical company who can then manage that endpoint. Well, if we can manage just the antivirus, then we can do software updates, and we could also do this with it, and we can do that. So now all of a sudden it goes from an antivirus to, now we got a whole remote monitoring managed service. Well, now we can make more money.
And are you then, with the technology, are you cutting out that middleman? Pretty soon it's like you don't need that guy.
You don't need that guy. You don't need that company. Yes, and that has been one of the things that I've always thought.
You're cannibalizing.
Right. You install all these endpoints. Who does a customer belong to anymore?
Right.
What if you don't pay your dues? Can they quickly send your customers to somebody else?
Sure, they
scary. They could.
Absolutely,
they could, and it's a scary proposition.
Well, and then like for instance, Salesforce. For instance, it's one of those CRM softwares.
Exactly.
And what they've done was, it used to be guys like me, I don't really do it, but they could use that as a large CRM and mailer. It's very expensive, but for large sales forces, it's great. However, now they've come out with their professional services division.
Oh, of course.
So it's one of those type of things where when you sign up, and say, for instance, you sign up, I sign you up with Salesforce, and I'm working with you and stuff, and all of a sudden you start getting emails from Salesforce that says,
yes,
we'd be happy to help you with this, and we can do all these things. Again, the vaporware, the technology, the fake tech is that we'll do all this stuff. You'll see all these things that, you'll see the instant someone does something. And then my customer calls me and goes, hey, you said this takes a week.
Yes.
And they're saying it's instant. And I'm like, well, they're wrong. And because I'm truthful. And they're going, well, they're Salesforce. They're the people that make the software. And I'm like, well, I've had to go, well, let's call them. But it creates this loop of uncertainty for a customer.
Yes, it makes you look.
You become a fireman.
Yes, constantly.
Because you're putting out fires.
Yeah. Now who's paying you for that additional time? Now you're paying the company for their services.
Right.
They're creating the fires that you're having to put out.
Yeah.
You're the one looking bad, not them.
Yeah. Because then they're sowing the seeds of
doubt.
I have an antivirus package that does the same thing. It works. It really does. It does a great job. But if I don't install it in a way that removes all their additional add-ons.
Oh.
What it does is it constantly will pick on the customer and say, hey, your computer's running a little slow today. We could have this cleanup service for X amount of dollars we can add on. So now they call me, well, I thought I just paid for the antivirus. Yes, you paid for the antivirus service, but they're trying to sell you additional add-ons because that's how they make money. They sell additional packages.
Yeah.
And so, well, I thought my computer was fine. Yes, it is fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
They said it's slow.
Yeah, they're saying it's slow, but it's not really. It's just, let's just... well, it's saying I have all these temp files. Well, every computer's going to have temp files. Here I am sitting here having to waste time.
And I'm a marketer, so I'm sorry, everybody. But in that type of thing, here's what the copy sounds like. Hey, you have 36 temp files that could slow down your computer. Wouldn't you like to make sure that you are completely set? Just click here for $39 a month. We'll clean these up on a regular basis for you every day. And so that's the kind of copy that we use that is sowing the seeds of doubt for that customer.
Despair.
Yeah, and so I can tell you, I'm sorry that I used to do it.
So on that one, so this weekend I was going through stuff, and I can't remember the term that they actually use, but when you go and you're walking around and your phone died, and so you charge into a charging station right, that already has a cable.
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, what a lot of people don't understand is that's hooked to a computer.
Yes.
And what happens is those things they put software onto your phone.
Yes, they can.
Right? That tracks your phone, gets your credit card information, knows everything about you, the whole 9 yards. And here's what the guy literally said. But there's no way to fix it. There's no way to stop it.
They will monetize your charging stations.
Literally.
Yeah.
They're like, so they're giving you that, well, here's the threat, but we can't fix it.
Yeah.
Well, here's how you fix it. You don't plug into shit like that.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm just going to say the S word because we can. We're on the internet. Yeah. But, yeah, you can't.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
don't plug into crap like that. You can't.
And Rusty has a service that's actually really good. That if you have a restaurant, for instance, and there's Wi-Fi at the restaurant, one of the cool things is you can monetize your Wi-Fi, and that says, hey, if you log into the Wi-Fi, you have to give me your email address and your name, and you can use our free Wi-Fi. Isn't this nice? And your phone number, but on the back end, I can market to you because you signed a little agreement thing, and when you clicked, I want this free
because you want free internet.
I want free internet. That you can do it, and sometimes it's like Rusty does that for restaurants. It's a really good idea, and it's worth it. It's not like you're not spamming.
It's all
people.
about capturing data, man.
If you're in my restaurant, I want to be able to save you some money and say these are 20% off today. So that's a fair trade. Mm-hmm. But like for instance, some of the airports, things like this, the airports give free Wi-Fi, but they also turn around and sell.
Yeah, they monetize
so
that.
They can monetize that, and they're not, all these.
Put in your email now. Now we have a nice email database we can go sell.
All these large companies that, like the airports and movie theaters and stuff, that are giving you free Wi-Fi, they didn't invest in free Wi-Fi.
Read the terms of agreement.
Yeah,
you've just said I can go ahead and send you spam, and you can get it.
But there's a bigger security risk here too. So say you go to a hotel, you're staying at the Hyatt. Actually, let's say the Hilton. There's more of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Hyatts, but there's a ton of Hiltons, right? You go to Hilton, you're sitting in the lobby, and you jump on, and you go, okay, yeah, man, I want the internet while I'm down here, and you put all your crap in. Well, then you're out and about, and next thing you know, I need Wi-Fi, and you see something that says Hilton. Mm-hmm. So you go, I was already a Hilton person, so I jump on Hilton, right? And next thing you know, you're running, you're cruising the old internet and whole 9 yards. Well, that wasn't a Hilton Wi-Fi.
Nope.
Right. That was a guy that's sitting over in the corner, or is sitting over there, that has now got access to your phone.
Hilton. Yeah.
Because he named it Hilton. Yeah. Right.
Very easy to do.
And so one of the things that I tell my family and everybody in it is we run VPNs.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a little bit slower. You don't have the super speed, but let me tell you, they don't get access to you.
Yeah.
Because That way, you know what? You know you've got a clean connection. You're not going to sit there and be like, oh, where did that charge come from? Or I didn't know I had that email, and next thing I know, I'm getting porn, and I'm getting, hey, let's meet up and crap like that, because you have just been hacked in a way that is just, so VPNs will keep you safe.
And people do it in a way that they can use for searching stuff.
Yeah.
For instance, job seekers are huge targets for that kind of thing.
Yep.
People who are in financial situations, huge targets for that. Because it's like, hey, send us $300 and we'll clean up your credit or whatever it is. Those are huge things, and they really, those are, like you said, people log on to whatever Wi-Fi and they're like, okay, I'll take this, it's free. But yeah, all these companies, they don't invest in their own, it's like the Tampa airport, they didn't go like, so our budget's going to be this. Some company came to them and goes, hey, we'll give you free Wi-Fi for the airport. And they went, all right. I have the same thing, the Pinellas County and Hillsborough County school systems. If I want to do their pictures, the pictures that you take, I have to bid on that. I don't actually make money. I bid $14,000 for taking pictures at the Pinellas County schools and doing your yearbook shots.
Right.
They bid on that because I get your information.
Right.
And I can market to you.
Right.
And I can market to you ostensibly for selling you more pictures, but in the terms of agreement, I can market to you and I can resell that information if I want.
And I hear a ton of people going, I wish this was a Google city, or this was a Google city. Google city, really? Because the minute you log on to that free Google Wi-Fi, they're going to market you, and they'll track you more than they're tracking you now.
Well, then
Good Lord!
Then they can really triangulate how they can.
Well, they can do your spending habits, your eating habits, your nighttime habits, whatever.
Well, because you're logging on to the different Wi-Fi spots in that Google city, and so there you go.
Well, once you're in though, they track your phone at that point in time.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you're off, they track your phone.
Your search points, everything you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of funny. My wife and I were talking about RVs the other day, right? Because, and then I'm trying to get mine fixed. And because we were searching around looking for stuff, now all of a sudden, all the ads for RVs are coming.
Oh, yeah.
Just inundating her. She's like, how is that possible? I said, Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
So it's the same thing with like Microsoft. Microsoft obviously knows that they have to start getting on a bandwagon for smaller devices. Again, they're rethinking that. Windows Lite for dual screens is a Chrome-like operating system, like Chrome OS, that they're building. It's going to be for ARMs, and they're trying to focus on, dual screen, like books, tablets, that would open up. So that's something that they're working on, using Windows Core OS is what it's called.
I want that. I want the Kindle book that looks like a book and has 2 pages, and I can flip it. Okay, tech people, that's what I want. Maybe I'll buy one of those Samsung phones just so I can have it and open a book or a magazine and have it just like a magazine.
Right.
I want that.
You want that.
I've seen some pretty snazzy magazine, software that really. It's on a screen. But it's not, if you had it in a handheld device, that would be kind of cool.
I actually, there's some really good software out there for magazine stuff. It's just,
Yeah, it's like
doing an online magazine. Again, I'm going to probably piss somebody off on this one. Doing an online magazine right now, it's easier to do than anything else. As long as you're willing to sit and put your content in, put your pictures in, and you want to sell some advertising, it's not rocket science. It really isn't.
And
content is
not for nothing, but as far as when it comes to content, not everybody is artistically and creatively, have it in their head. So just because you can create content and stick it somewhere doesn't mean it's going to look nice.
And that doesn't mean copy and paste from
and it doesn't mean it's going to look right. It doesn't mean it's going to make sense. That's why you hire professionals to do things.
Well, the other part of it is that people, like you said, the expectations are. I've got a couple of...
See, we're back to expectations. I love that part.
YouTube people are... I've got a couple of YouTube creators that I work with, and they they do like camping stuff, and so they're sitting in there. But the thing is, and those those top 10 lists and things like this you see all the time. Those are, like you said, the creators. They have 12 people working for them. It's not like, hey, I'm a guy that does this and I'm monetizing this. Yeah, they have like 12 people that literally edit and do, they put daily content on. There's producers and there's writers and there's fact checkers. And so, I've got one guy who does the backpacking. He has 4 people working.
So I've got someone in my ear saying 2 minutes. And how is that possible since we go to 58?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be like 3 minutes?
Expectations.
Man, our closer is 56 minutes. Did you get the new one in there? The 56 seconds.
I love it.
Oh, we got a brand new closer on this one today. That's awesome.
I mean that's the thing. So we go back to expectations. When you're dealing with new technology and technology promises that you do something, it's show and tell. I think.
Right. The CES show is the worst. And the CES show, we saw stuff this year that they announced 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And it's still not coming out yet.
Because they're still trying to fund it.
But it's all about the hype. Yeah. So before if you ever sit down with a technology guy and the guy goes, I just don't, first thing is, so how well do you know your phone? Can you do this? Well, I really don't, I don't need to know about the phone, blah, blah, blah. Then you need to run. Because if you can't understand this tech, you can't understand any tech.
Yeah.
I'm just, now we should have disclaimers. That's the opinion, the viewpoints of John.
Yes,
Gaston.
exactly.
Bottom line is, if they can't figure out a simple phone, and these are simple. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff, but just simple. You need to run from them.
Yeah.
And if they're a marketing person, then they go, well, I really don't worry about that.
Oh my God. Mobile first technology is your thing.
With that being said, all right, everybody, we'll see everybody on Thursday at 11 o'clock.
Thanks.
And hopefully, if you need to get a hold of us, techshamans at webeamtv.com.
Yes.
Very simple.
Yes.
Thanks,
He's
guys.
counting in 1.
Shamans, we understand cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome, yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.